few fears more universal than the fear of dark. Almost every child has felt it. That uneasy feeling that something is watching. That something could be standing just beyond where your eyes can see. As we grow older, logic tells us there's nothing there. Yet somehow, the feeling never completely leaves us. Now imagine taking that fear and adding another one. The fear of the deep ocean. Not because of what you've seen, but because of what you can't. Thousands of feet of water surround you. Visibility is measured in feet instead of miles. An endless darkness that swallows light almost as quickly as it appears. For many people, that's the definition of a nightmare. But for the Descent disciples, that's our Tuesday. Before every night dive, there's a moment. The gear is checked, the lights are tested, your buddy gives the final okay. Everything says you're ready, but your brain quietly asks one last question. Are you sure you want to do this? It's fascinating. Our bodies can recognize when we've been preparing for something, yet our instincts don't always care. Because instinct wasn't designed for comfort, it was designed for survival. The moment you leave the surface, the world changes. The sounds disappear. The horizon vanishes. The only thing separating you from complete darkness is a beam of light no wider than your outstretched arm. Everything outside that beam simply doesn't exist. Or at least, that's what your mind wants you to believe. Humans are visual creatures. When we can't see, our brains begin filling in the blanks. Every shadow becomes movement. Every sound becomes a possibility. Every unanswered question becomes something far worse than what the reality usually is. Psychologists have studied this for decades. Fear isn't always created by danger. More often, it's created by uncertainty. The unknown has always been where fear lives. The ocean has carried that mystery. Long before satellites, long before submarines, people believed sea monsters waited below the waves. Even today, we've mapped more of the surface of Mars than we have of our own oceans. There's still so much we don't know, and maybe that's why it fascinates us. There's something interesting that happens. You stop thinking. Your breathing slows. The darkness stops feeling empty and starts feeling peaceful. The beam of your light begins revealing life. Lobsters, crabs, fish sleeping in the rocks. Creatures you've passed 100 times during the day but never truly noticed. The ocean hasn't changed, only your perspective has. That's the funny thing about fear. Most of the time, it isn't protecting us from reality. It's protecting us from the possibilities that only exist in our imagination. The darkness never promised there weren't sharks. The ocean never promised complete safety. Adventure never comes with guarantees, but neither does staying on shore. Sometimes, the only way to discover what's waiting in the darkness is to swim towards it. People often ask me why I dive. Isn't it cold? Isn't it dangerous? Aren't you afraid? And the answer is, sometimes, yes. Fear isn't the absence of courage, it's the reason courage exists in the first place. Because courage isn't found in perfect conditions. It's found in taking one more step, even when you can't see what's ahead. Tonight, the ocean didn't teach me to stop being afraid. It taught me something far more valuable. That fear doesn't always deserve to make the decisions. And sometimes, the most beautiful places on Earth are waiting just beyond the edge of your flashlight. Tonight's dive takes us off the coast of York, Maine, home to one of New England's most recognizable landmarks. Nubble Lighthouse has stood watch over these rocky shores since 1879, guiding fishermen, sailors, and mariners through some of the most unforgiving waters of the Atlantic coast. Above the surface, thousands of visitors gather every year to admire its beauty. Few ever stop to wonder what lies beneath. The Gulf of Maine is one of the most biologically productive bodies of water in the world, fed by cold, nutrient-rich currents from the north. These waters support an incredible diversity of marine life. Below the crashing waves, the granite ledges surrounding Nubble become an entirely different world. Dense forests of kelp sway with the tide. Sea stars cling to the rocks. Lobsters patrol the cracks and the crevices they've claimed as home for decades. Schools of pollock and cunner weave effortlessly through the boulders, while tiny shrimp, crabs, and countless other creatures emerge only after the sun disappears beyond the horizon. What looks like an empty stretch of ocean from shore is in reality a thriving underwater ecosystem. For nearly 150 years, Nubble Lighthouse has cast its beam into the darkness, guiding mariners safely through these waters. Tonight, the same darkness becomes our destination. Armed with nothing more than a flashlight, training, and trust in the equipment on our backs, we're leaving the safety of the shore to explore the world beneath the lighthouse's watch. As our light cuts through the darkness, the kelp begins to take shape. Every shadow seems alive. Every movement catches your attention, and hiding among those swaying frowns is the ocean's strangest predator, the goosefish, better known as the monkfish. If Hollywood were designing a sea monster, this would be a pretty good place to start. Its broad, flattened body blends almost perfectly into the rocky bottom, disappearing beneath patches of kelp and algae until it becomes completely invisible. You can swim just feet away and never realize it was there. It doesn't chase prey. It doesn't need to. Growing from the top of its head is a modified dorsal spine, almost like a fishing rod, ending in a fleshy lure that wiggles with the current. Small fish mistake it for an easy meal. They move closer and closer, completely unaware they're drifting towards one of the fastest ambush predators in the North Atlantic. Then, in less time than it takes to blink, the monkfish erupts from the seafloor. Its enormous mouth opens with explosive speed, creating a powerful vacuum that pulls in water and anything caught in it straight inside. Victims aren't bitten, they're swallowed whole. And just as quickly as it attacked, it disappears back into the darkness, waiting for the next curious fish to make the same mistake. Standing face to face with a creature like this in the middle of a night dive, it's easy to understand why our imaginations fill the darkness with monsters. But the truth is, the monsters aren't evil. They're simply perfectly adapted to survive in a world where patience is often deadlier than pursuit. As we emerge from the darkness, it's funny. Standing here now, it's hard to believe. Just minutes ago, my imagination was convinced there might be something waiting in the darkness. But after nearly an hour beneath the surface, I didn't find monsters. I found an entirely different world. A world that has been here long before us, and with any luck, will remain long after we are gone. If you liked our video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I plan to bring a lot more diving content to you on Descent Disciples, and I hope you enjoyed the storytelling. Have a great day, everyone.